Welcome back, everyone. Riv here with Jap for another edition of NA Plays. This time, we are taking a look back at the last 2 weeks of the NALCS to highlight the best and the rest of the pro players and what they had to offer. So let's jump right into it and see exactly what they put on the Rift for us to take a look at.
Yeah, this one was from a few weeks back at the very start. Hauntzer, questionable, the dive, the fact that both of them were level 3 and didn't really have any CC kind of helped Hauntzer at the start here. This play was pretty sick, though.
Absolutely. I mean, he says he wants to be the best, so you gotta get these scenarios, but also put yourself in these scenarios.
Flash.
Here's some cheeky flashes and the winions. It always feels good to style out.
Seraph would have gotten that one auto attack off on a Hauntzer. It's the kill, but good reaction. This one wasn't quite as clean right here. Lorlo had a huge lead. I don't know why he wanted to flash next to the wall.
I do love plays like this, trying to kind of hide behind the turret. You can see things like Caitlyn traps and other stuff. Here, the famed blast cone.
Yeah, I mean, clearly Matt's fault for standing on that side of the blast cone.
What is that
Has nothing to do with his teammate double. It's hitting him across the wall.
Oh, my word. Also, the kiss of death here. Ryu nicely playing this one out. Cody-san says, I'm out. Yeah. Wait, I'm back in.
This play had a little bit of everything. It was the scuttle crab bait into an actually super sick charm by Ryu at the very end.
Continuing on for our NA plays, we remember here in the bot lane of this, C9 versus Envy, and Lyra was just going off.
Yeah, I mean, also credit to Apollo. His Ziggs has been probably his best bot lane champion right here, but this was kind of the famed 10-0 Trinity Force Bruiser Nidalee game and what got it started.
That fervor Nidalee going through, trying to get everything he can. And we have to remember.
Oh, you have to remember this one.
In the tightest of moments, in the pros make mistakes.
Yep, you press both buttons at the same time. So when you miss one, you're gonna miss the other one.
How'd he hit it though? Godlike.
He would have got him.
Godlike contracts here. Keep an eye on the left side of your screen. With a shockwave delivery.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much everything you can do to get the kickback, but then the fact that they chained it into the huge shockwave made that a super sick play. Apollo has not had very much fun against Lee Sin, but Contracts did not only the Q Resonating Strike, also ward jump into a flash kick, so you have to give so much respect to Lee Sin in those situations if they can pull off plays like that.
Crazy plays coming in, and some of the top teams in the league continue to be on these NA plays, but also are some of the NA plays, so you got to be careful on what you're going in on.
Some great plays, some actually really good plays, and some ones that are definitely going to go on there for other reasons.
We'll have to see how more come to be. That concludes NA plays for the rest of the spring split, but have no fear. We're still looking to highlight the best league action that NA has to offer. Be sure to help us out by tweeting the hashtag LCSBigPlays whenever you see an epic moment that deserves a shout out. Keep your eyes peeled and send them our way. And without further ado, let's send it back to the casters for some more North American LCS.
Welcome back, League fans. We hope you enjoyed those juicy plays from the NALCS, but now it's time to refocus on the series between Counterlogic Gaming and Team Envy. First things first, player of the game honors in last game go to, surprise, Lyra.
Yes, Lyra. It was very close between Lyra and Ninja, but Lyra with the clever jungle pathing as well as the first blood and getting Ninja going and being a gigantic threat. Even when Ninja was kind of faltering in the early game, got solo killed by Huhi. So Lyra definitely the cleanest game out of the whole bunch there for Envy, and a big reason of why they have these gigantic leads early. The guy was 1.4K up over Smithy at the beginning of the game with 2 kills. He's out farming, he's out pressuring. Lyra is just, man, he's just playing so well.
He's also got uncannily good skill shot accuracy, I feel like, because some of those Nidalee spears I did not expect to hit, but he was finding really strong angles. I mean, again, we talk about the Envy kind of scrappy skirmish style where they get ahead and they just try and flop around and win in chaotic team fights.
That's what I do.
Not even team fights, just skirmishes, right?
Yeah.
Envy, I think his champion and his play in that game was kind of the poster child for Envy's general play style that we've seen in the back half of the season.
And there's a lot of these compositions from Envy that I say, like, ride on Apollo carrying or, you know, what happens there. But Lyra is always kind of the person who has to ignite those things. You think about when he played the AD Bruiser Nidalee with Fervor, a battle in the jungle. Like, if that doesn't work, if he doesn't get off the ground, like, that's just a dead game. So Lyra, there's always pressure on him to do well on this 10th place team because they would definitely be in a much worse spot without him, I will say.
Yeah, and again, Envy just playing themselves back into form. We'll see if CLG can bounce back in this game and honestly just fix quite a lot in that game. I mean, Stixxay and Afro, we know Stixxay's been sick. Afro was playing AD carry this weekend, so like there's a lot going on in that bottom lane that, you know, is unexpected and will likely be difficult to play through. But in general, the whole ship's got to tighten up here for CLG because that game looks sloppy. That's exactly where MV want you. Then with a lead and you just kind of flailing around. And I mean, CLG, a win in this series does clinch them the 4th place spot in playoffs, I believe. So it's not like they're playing for nothing. I mean, yes, they're in playoffs, but 4th is a huge difference between 5th or even 6th that CLG could get.
Yeah, 4th means that you aren't playing up against Phoenix 1 in the 3rd place. So I think that's huge because everybody's talking about how that 3rd place, 2nd place, and 1st place teams just look kind of a cut above everybody else, Phoenix 1 included. This weekend, they weren't that strong because they're going up against TSM and Cloud9, but I feel as though you definitely don't want to be in Phoenix 1's crosshairs at all. So you want to be in that, that 4th, 5th slot, maybe play somebody a little bit weaker, which I believe at this point would be Dignitas.
Well, we'll have to see what happens here because CLG still fighting for that strong playoff seed. MV fighting for pride, but made it look real convincing in game number 1. We'll see what happens in our 2nd draft here. Rengar and Camille banned out for NV. Ziggs once again banned out by CLG. We'll see what they do with their extra ban. Lost one in game 1 due to having Stixate be approved for the roster late, but we'll get their full set of bans here for this 2nd game, as Lulu is their next one.
Ziggs, Lulu, Rengar, Camille banned away from Envy very early on. The Rengar is not something you typically see on your own side, and also the Rumble. So they're not looking to first pick that top laner. It just seems like they're being a little bit more conservative, maybe looking for the Lulu or the Malzahar here for Hakuo.
We'll see what happens here. 10 seconds for CLG to finalize this final ban.
Yeah, they had banned Caitlyn previously. Maybe a Talon here, but that would be really early. I like the Graves.
Yep.
Taking that off the table, something that I always forget about in solo queue to ban.
Don't ever forget to ban Graves in solo queue. It is a horrible time.
Yeah, it's like Lulu, Graves, Camille, Rengar, and I think Vladimir should be up there too, personally, but
Well, we'll see what Vladimir does in this draft, because first pick Malzahar from Envy is going to give Hakuo one of his best performing champions. Had a great game on the Lulu, but she's banned, so he'll take comfort and strength for himself. Caitlyn, though, picked up a Stixay very early onto this draft, so denying it away from Apollo and setting up something that Stixay has performed at countless times at the highest level of play.
Yep, you think about the finals previously between Counterlogic Gaming and TSM last spring. That was a Caitlyn performance from Stixay that people really aren't going to forget. The Runaan's Hurricanes flying across the screen, doing massive damage in those fights, and being one of the first people to really adopt the new Caitlyn with the 5 traps and siege with it. And that's what I loved when he started picking it up, is nobody else was really just abusing the power of Caitlyn in chokes and the setup that it has.
Well, there's Gragas for Counterlogic Gaming, so Xsmithy's played quite a number of jungle Gragas games, but it could be Dashan's pick as well, so I like that early flexibility. Gragas, a super solid tank that I think's rising up as the likes of Nautilus and Maokai are seeing. Still some play, but not as much. Lyra, though, going to revisit the Nidalee. It looks like a Varus lock in there for Apollo. So kind of back to where they started in game 1. The Malzahar over the Lulus. Obviously, the change with that being banned. But this looks like another good setup for Envy as far as how they want to play their game.
Yeah, force the enemy to buy some QSSs as well with the Malzahar. But then the Nidalee, once again, the flexibility in champions. Like, if they go for something, like, that's what I love about this as well, is Envy lock in Nidalee, but it's not necessarily going to be a heavy physical damage or a heavy magic damage one. Sure, the Q converts into magic damage, your Trinity Force and all that stuff, but I definitely feel like this is something that they're flexible with. So it frees up Ninja. He can play AP if it's open, or he could play AD.
Well, we'll see what happens in this next set of bans here. Nami, the last pick for CLG, so taking a very strong laning support in with that Caitlyn, wanting to try and make sure they can farm up as smoothly as possible. CLG going to target the Talon this time, so I think Ninja's going to eat a number of bans here.
Yeah, the Talon, possibly an Ahri as well to go with it.
I've seen Jace banned a lot as well over Ninja specifically, so that's kind of the other one that springs to mind. Vlad, though, banned for Envy, so 2 mid laners banned out so far.
Yeah, I assume they also banned the Aurelion Sol on the side of Envy. And nice call on the Jace there.
That is the second ban for CLG. And Aurelion Sol ban for Envy, so
yeah,
you had it right in game 1. Correct here once more for Envy in game 2. Six taking a Hover Warwick, of course, his favorite champion, but we'll see what CLG want to do. Do they counterpick mid lane, or do they take a priority pick for themselves here now? I think if you're playing against someone like Ninja, you probably get your counterpick, because whatever he wants to play, you probably don't want to play.
Yeah, it's interesting because we would always say, you want your counterpick for the top side, you want to counterpick Seraph. Master of Evil?
I don't
tiny
know.
one?
No. Oh, it was a bait. It was Orianna the whole time.
Nah, this is why we never get excited about numbers. But yeah, so that's the interesting thing as well. Like I was just saying that you want to counterpick both Ninja and Seraph because their champion pools are just so weird. And they'll pretty much play anything. So right now they're just looking for Darshan to possibly have a good matchup in the top side of the map up against, which is now a Shen from Seraph.
Ooh, big change actually for Envy. They steal away the solo laners from CLG's first game. Shen in top and Talia in mid for Ninja. First time Ninja has played Talia, I believe, in this split of the NALCS.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. I think that he's gone for more of those assassins. He's definitely gone for champions that have a little bit more physical damage. He's definitely played Jace the most. And then he has like Talon with 3, and then some AP mages. So yeah, it's his first Talia game in that last pick. Gangplank. So they counter-picked the top lane. I was talking about it before where I thought it would be Seraph picking the Gangplank into the Shen top. This is a CLG looking for a strong top side of the map, a survivable bottom side that will win the lane naturally by having the Orianna and the Nami, or sorry, the Caitlyn and the Nami. But then they also have protection for Stixxay late game. It's a big peeling tank in the jungle. You have a shield in the mid lane. You have a heal in the bottom lane. And so Stixxay, he could go off, but you could also have anybody else on this team really step up if they had a good laning phase.
This is a well-built composition there for CLG. I think Envy's suffering a little without an extra counter pick here. You kind of highlighted that, hey, Seraph and Ninja do kind of need to get things snowballing. Lyra is almost always going to have a good start, but someone else needs to get it going. To their credit, last game it was Envy's bottom lane, but that was just individual play, and I think just some uncharacteristic mistakes from CLG that cost them maybe more than anything. So we'll see what changes here. Imagine CLG, I mean, we've got a super stable bottom lane here in this game, so I don't think anything too crazy there is going to happen. So once again, looking at that top half of the map. If Lyra can keep the Gangplank down, potentially could see some snowballing happening. And again, I love Ninja on the roaming champion. We'll see if he can get stuff done in the side waves.
Yeah, this will be incredibly interesting to see what happens. Because Team Envy, another skirmish-based composition. Some of the core is the same as what Counterlogic Gaming had, where you have the Shen and the Talia, heavy roaming power. Multiple people can show up. Your solo laners can turn on a dime and be there. Well, we'll see, because they need this match win.
They certainly do here. Envy looking to sweep CLG to round out their season. Could have been a much happier story for them if they'd won yesterday. Alas, instead they're locked in 10th. But 2-0 CLG is going to feel great and really sends a message to the rest of the playoff teams.
Yeah, and the way that promotion tournament works right now is it's 2 challenger teams, the bottom teams 9 and 10, so only 2 LCS teams go, and then 10 plays number 1 from the challenger, and 9 plays number 2. So they're locked in to play the number 1 team, Gold Coin United, and you have to win 2 best of 5s out of, I believe, 3 that you will play, because it's a double elimination. So you'll win your first match, but then you have to play the winner of whoever won the other one. Winner of that match goes on. Loser of that plays the winner of the 2 losers from the previous matches. So you have to be a consistent team to be able to win, because there are 4 teams that go in, only 2 come out. As before, it was 5 and 3 come out. So a little less in terms of your chances.
And it's not like Envy, you know, have time to really sit down and watch these teams. They have to play next week.
Yep.
In fact, this coming weekend, the promotion tournament will be on. So Envy, again, looking to end this season well and then run straight into the promotion tournament. And it was upcoming week.
It was interesting because I got to talk to Broken Shard, one of the coaches for E United, and he was saying that playing their finals and knowing that they're going to be looking at the bottom LCS teams is good because they do it so early. Whereas Envy have focused this last week not solely on challenger teams, but trying to get out of 10th. So they haven't had their eyes on those challenger teams for a while, and now they have to really look at them and say, okay, this is who we're playing. We're practicing for this team. Whereas E United and Gold Coin United have been able to look at the LCS and say, okay, we're probably playing one of these 2 teams. Watch their games very closely. And now Envy will have to play a little bit of catch-up with challenger.
Well, we'll see what happens here to Lyra, as actually Aframu, excuse me, gonna have to force his flash away. Once again, Aframu, the target of Lyra's early aggression, now invading onto this blue buff.
And this was a Raptor start from Xmithy on the other side of the map. Runs all the way over.
Ooh, that was sick! See you later, Aframu. Blast cones him out of the way. I mean, I love that coverage. Unfortunately, Lyra didn't get the blue buff, so the payoff's not really there, but that was super creative.
Or did he?
I don't know, might be coming back.
Or did he?
Here's the blast going to go to. Oh, he misses the spear. Smites
it's almost
there.
smite there range. There it is.
Gonna have to maybe kill Xmithy. Don't think that's happening anytime soon.
Okay, right, he didn't.
I mean, Lyra, to his credit, did not expect him to go for yet another attempt, so had a window to try and take it down. Nice play there from Xmithy to make sure he gets his blue, but now Lyra might even look bottom lane if Stixxay presents a good-looking target.
Yeah, especially Afromo, who is still level 1, doesn't have a flash. Like, that's the target that you definitely want to go towards. But Xmithy gonna go for his red buff on the opposite side of the map, and this will also be Lyra going for his top side. May see some ganks here, like you said. You definitely want to shut down the Gangplank at his vulnerable points when the Shen has a small advantage in lane, because this matchup turns very quickly. You talk to some players who play this matchup, and they're just, and like for the first time, they're like, "Yeah, I was crushing him as Shen." It's like, yeah, you're supposed to at the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like, then you fight him again, and you're like, why is he killing me?
He's Gangplank.
Yep.
Well, Darshan just chilling out with his Sapphire Crystal. Looks like he's got Xmithy waiting in the wings. So just going to chill out. A lot of fun interactions in this matchup. You can see Spirit's Refuge blocking that parlay damage. Lyra taking the blue buff, though. I think made the more conservative play, not going for a super aggressive gank onto Afro and instead making sure he secures all of his left side jungle so that Xmithy couldn't go take it. And things looking just fine here again in the 2v2. Hakuho and Apollo is still playing aggressively.
And I like seeing this from this bottom lane that has been kind of overlooked. I think definitely Hakuho has been a player that's gotten better and better over time. They end up in the 10th place still, but I definitely feel like Hakuho is a strong performer, a consistent performer on a team that has some pretty inconsistent solo laners. So it's great to see, but when he picks up those kills, you're kind of like, man, I don't think that Lulu is going to do so much with those 3 kills versus those were on maybe our mid laner.
Got a Malzahar, so we'll see just how deep he goes if he starts to pick up some kills as far as the AP goes. Darshan, in the meantime, just getting this lane pushing in. Seraph being patient here, got a big wave to pick up, so if he gets all of them, he'll actually be ahead of Darshan on CS, but I imagine he'll get most of them.
Yeah, it's actually really easy to CS under turret as Shen because of the Q.
Yep.
It gives you some extra attack speed, gives you some extra damage. So you can actually kill caster minions after 1 shot, even though you don't have any extra AD.
You jinxed him. What are you doing to me,
What is
Cyrene?
the cancel there?
Oh, that's okay. Still looking good. Darshan picks up his
That minion,
and goes back
no!
to the Ruby Crystal. He saved it. See? Easy.
Yeah.
It's like Aurelia.
Oh boy, Aurelia CS under turret. Now that's an easy one.
You're right. Even I can do that one. As Ninja just keeping the wave out from under his turret. Get a little bit of pressure from Xmithy, but Ninja could clean this up pretty quickly. Again, Talia, not the same amount of early pushing power she used to have, but looking just fine here, and things will get easier with levels. Looks like Huki's going back, though. Afromu again taking damage from the Voidlings. Stixxay trying to fire back, but Apollo covering for his support there.
Yeah, it looks like what happened in the mid lane was Huhi didn't get it back, and Ninja did, so Ninja picks up a lost chapter, gets back to lane very quickly, and gets to shove it out. So it's a cannon minion wave that comes up next. You won't lose as much CS here as the Orianna, but you still will lose some. I had to pull Xmithy in to help him clear the wave.
Ooh, Lyra back in again. Level 6 for Ninja is actually ready for the wall.
Going in.
Cut off Xmithy. Xmithy does have his flash, but Talia's on the other side. Tries to get over the Grump, but now back towards his teammate. Heal from Afromu.
Oh, he got him!
But a massive shot back for Ninja. First blood goes in. He flashes for the last Q. Bubble, though, I think hit onto Talia, but there's the Shen ultimate going to try and save him down. Shield not enough. Stixxay gets the counter kill.
Yeah, they actually got him in time too, so Seraph doesn't show up, and the teleport's already used from him as well, where Darshan has not had to use his.
Really nice play from Ninja, but unfortunately just couldn't quite get out cleanly. However, first blood does go over to Envy, and Lyra able to counter jungle Xmithy just a little more. Huhi try and take him down.
The Ghost?
Blast Cone should save him. Has to get out from under the shockwave. Oh no, he pulled back in, but Lyra gets out. Huhi flashes forward, though. Ball is going to chase onto him. Needs him a couple more autos. The TP ult seals the deal. Darshan kills Lyra.
I actually think that's better than if it had gone over to Huhi. First off, it's got an assist on it, so it's actually worth 50% more gold. But Darshan getting the kill is huge for the Gangplank to get him off the ground, because he's just another big threat on this team. And this, well played from Lyra and Ninja at the start. The flash on the barrel to not get slowed, and then the W resets and gets the flash there. But Ninja, I feel like this here, he's probably going to kill Xmithy, but the flash over the minions to make sure means he doesn't have the flash for the bubble or the traps and the follow-up afterwards. He would have had to kind of pelt through that minion, but the way that he weaved himself was a little awkward, which forced him to use the flash there.
Yeah, really nice bubble from Afro. I think kind of securing that to start it off. Seraph, though, diving in onto Darshan. Pops up the dodge zone, but now the minions are back on his case, so We're going to play too aggressively there, and Darshan getting that extra gold will speed up the Trinity Force considerably.
Yeah, and this is the worst part about playing against a Gangplank early, is you'll be like, oh, I'm winning lane, I'm up CS, I'm doing great. And then his ultimate comes through and he kills a teammate, or he gets an assist where you're like, he shouldn't be getting that. It's like, I'm winning lane, yet he's popping a button and getting 300 plus gold for it. Not fun, because now he comes back with items and it's not your fault.
Global ultimates, pretty good.
Instant global ultimate that does damage, fun stuff.
Well, Darshan's happy about it, that much I can tell you. A little barrel combo there from Darshan, going to chase Seraph a little further down.
Yeah, this matchup's already kind of swapped very quickly to the other side. Seraph with a little bit of armor and some regeneration there.
But Envy can kind of make the rest of the map work for themselves. Bottom lane still playing aggressively, actually up at least 10 CS there for Apollo.
Yeah, this is actually a little bit unexpected because you would expect the Nami and Caitlyn to be able to bully very heavily, but early what happened was Aphromoo had to blow his flash, so Aphromoo has to play safe for pretty much the remainder of the laning phase. So don't be deceived by the way that this is going. The Caitlyn definitely is a huge bully, especially with this Nami behind him.
Oh, actually going to try and collect the kill. Apollo should have his, doesn't have his ultimate actually, so the wave might turn around. Xmithy's here as well. Hakuo almost getting the chase down kill, but Xmithy going to try and find a target for himself. Hakuo turning back around as Seraph channels the ultimate. Going to try and lock down one more. Ninja's also surfed down as well. Xmithy now tangled up and then shoved back by Talia. Envy collapse first and get the kill.
Yep, Ninja with the roam. We talked about it in Champions. Like, this team loves to skirmish and then have the Talia and the Shen show up very quickly, but now it leaves their top side vulnerable. Lyra will have to do some duty on that top one and make sure that he clears out that wave. Hui will stay here. Talia will
great shockwave finds Apollo. That's a kill for the mid laner. CLG get one back.
Not expecting Hui to actually stick around because the mid lane's getting shoved in now by Talia, and he shows up, runs forward, and then just gets the kill there off Apollo, who has to use his flash here to get away. Really well done to actually interrupt the ultimate there from Malzahar. Aphromoo definitely played that correctly. And then Xmithy gets the body slam, but looks like he was expecting maybe a flash away, slow down Apollo with that barrel. As he saves the ultimate, it still doesn't hit Seraph away, so it's a little bit slow on the ultimate in return. But this here, yeah, they aren't expecting him. It's just pretty plainly what that is. He gets a speed up there from Aphromoo. Aphromoo actually throws a bubble onto Hui as well for extra speed. For the Nami players that don't know that, if you throw it, your spell will use your passive on them, which gives extra movement speed to people who are hit, or allies who are hit by your spells. So
again, nice collapse from Ninja, but Hui roams back down, gets himself a kill of his own. Darshan takes off the Malzahar passive. Looks like we've actually swapped things up for CLG. Kind of sick of the bottom lane at this point, so we're going to swap it to top lane instead.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think that Counterlogic Gaming would be okay with the lane assignments, but I think they just feel like they're losing the bottom lane slowly but surely. Which now this gives them some tempo. The Gangplank can hold the bottom turret longer than a Shen can hold the top turret in just a straight up siege, because he has ranged wave clear, he has the ultimate. Shen just kind of has to take a beating under the turret, especially with traps around it. So it could be what they're going for there, but it's just free money for the Gangplank.
That's all he really needs. Darshan not too far off that Trinity Force, so going to have that first major item timing done relatively soon. Hui continuing to clear out the mid wave, building in towards his Morellonomicon, and now Skulkshoe's done for Ninja. Looks like itemization is very similar for these two mid laners. And again, for me, it's just about can Seraph and Ninja get out and start affecting more of the skirmishes that Envy should be wanting to start here.
Yeah, and I love to point this out too, because we talk about how they love skirmishing on Envy's side, but what Envy are not very good at is rotational play. And what just happened is Envy actually just lost about 200 gold because of what happened on the bottom side of the map. Darshan was able to clear the minion wave out, push it all the way back to the enemy turret, but Seraph was still pushing top. Apollo and Hakuo were still in rotation, and now you're going to see the fact that Stixxay is up a little bit of CS, or even right now, and close that gap a bit, is because of what just happened there. Because Seraph was up over Darshan, but now that's equalized too. So the CLG rotation actually just got them a little bit back into this game. Just tiny bit, right? It's like small little minion pickups, but it's actually quite clever.
Yeah, again, CLG always a team that can play smartly around the map. Seraph, though, just happy to fight Darshan.
Yeah, and there's this giant wave for Darshan as well, so he just needs to sit under his turret and kind of wait for this to hit his turret. Because Envy did not pick that up. Their lane allocations were a little slow.
Smithy also towards that top side, but great coverage actually from Envy. I imagine that's a lot of Lyra's handiwork with the rest of his team.
Speaking of Lyra, he's up 1,100 gold.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah, which means that,
How very surprising, Zareen.
which means that the rest of Counterlogic Gaming are winning in their other lanes by about 800, by about 300. Yeah, mid lane's pretty even, close to about 150-ish. But yeah, Lyra is just disgustingly ahead, 1,000 gold, no kills to his name, just an assist. Compared to Xmithy, who's got deaths, but it's just the farming.
Yep, we'll see if we can change it around there on Lyra's side at least, because he's getting aggressive as expected into the enemy jungle. Wants to take down the Raptor pit, should have the smite to do so. Xmithy though going to claim the big Raptor. It's all going wrong. Lyra leaves with nothing. Ninja also maybe roaming up again. This is kind of the combination I'm expecting to see a lot more of, but Envy playing a little more subdued here in the mid game.
Yeah, I think it's going to get a little bit spicier soon. It looked like right there, they were looking and pinging for that blue buff, but Huhi?
You're on top of yeah, Shockwave. That's not a good time. Ninja trying to trade back in, but Ninja just absorbs the ultimate and then walks away from it.
Yeah, this is actually interesting because Ninja finishes up his, or sorry, Lyra finishes up his red buff. Now he's pinging for the blue. Huhi doesn't have Shockwave. Where are they going for?
Well, Ninja trying to keep Huhi out of the way. I think Lyra's looking for bottom lane.
Oh.
Maybe great shot back there from Ninja. Speed's gonna miss. Blast Cone's there as well. Ninja rides over, gonna get the Shen in there and try and take somebody else down. Xmithy could be the next target, but he gets over the wall with the belly slam. Lyra now onto the blue buff. Envy could get the objective they came for.
Yeah, and they know that there was, and it's gonna have to be a smite from Lyra here. Got it.
Does take it down. Hakuo here as well, ready with his ultimate. So if they can get a pick on a member of CLG, could be something nice to start off for them. 80 carries are still in the top lane, so no one is joining for that 5v5. It looks like it just dissipates. No one goes for the Drake. CLG do not get picked off, and Envy collapse only for the buff.
Yeah, because the Shockwave was used, it seemed like a prime time for them to go for that. And so they actually went for it, even though Darshan had priority bottom during that and has the Trinity Force. Like, this Gangplank actually has hit a point where he does a lot of damage. But now you have to watch out. This is a nice pincer from Envy. This will get them this middle turret if they play this correctly and can zone off Huhi.
Smithy caught already, but a great spear from Lyra to keep him out from under the turret. Gonna need a little bit more work to try and take that, so Ninja just keeps shoving the wave.
Yeah, Huhi's just able to walk up and use his Q and his W there. So there wasn't enough pressure on him. The threat of an ultimate from Hakuho seemed like they weren't really afraid of a follow-up. Also because of the fact that Lyra had used the spear. If you can combo that with the Malzahar ulti and a spear, you pretty much get that kill.
Surf again, aggressive onto Darshan, but Darshan stands his ground. Lyra still into the enemy jungle. Good damage from Xmithy. He's got their runic echoes completed. Lyra gonna try and steal this red buff away. Does not have smite, but looks for Xmithy. Really wanted the spear to try and get the assassination down, but the buff just barely blocks it.
Yeah, Xmithy ends up getting that one. Mid lane turret, very close to going down. A few more auto attacks, and that's going to be first turret.
5 games in a row.
I mean, they have an obscene amount. Before this weekend, they were 77% on first turret in the second half of the split, which means that Envy, they're definitely the first turret kings, but what are they doing with that gold lead? It's just not amounting to much.
Well, we'll see what else happens here. Up now 1,000 gold thanks to that first turret take, but again, Envy needs to just be a bit more proactive.
Yeah, and I think that this is kind of the reason that we had so many players in those little interviews that we have talk about how Envy is not a bad team, right? They're definitely not bad players, but they don't play together well, right? It's kind of different between like a bad team and a bad group of players. Like, they aren't just bad, right?
No, they have individually very good.
They have great spots. Like, Lyra plays incredibly well. Their turret and their rotation to get that off their early leads is definitely the best in the league. I actually say it's the best in the league, and it is statistically. But it's just transitioning that. So when people scream Envy, they're just like, oh man, we're losing early. And because when you're screaming, your coach sees what's going on. They see like all the numbers at the top, the gold difference, etc. It's like they're getting smashed. But then you eventually come back into the game, or maybe Envy have a thing where they can close out scrims because, oh, it's not the stage.
I mean, exactly. It's a lot of things for this team, right? And I think the easiest way to sum it up is that Envy are an incomplete team. They've got great players, they've got star players, they've got solid role players as well in other positions. They've even got an ultimate here onto Aframu. Aframu's going to flash out of it though. Ninja trying to seal that one. Bit naughty there from Gangplank. It's going to slow down the Malzahar, but yeah, nothing too crazy.
2 summoner spells from Ninja for that. Blew the Ghost and the Flash. Oh, nice. Nice. You look at the minimap, you can see all of those little blue dots. That's the Weaver's Wall.
Oh, Lyra could be in trouble. Great barrel combo there from Darshan. That's a kill for Huhi as Seraph's ultimate will not complete.
Lyra caught out there. Not a good game for him so far, but Ninja picking up a little bit of that slack. They're going to zone him off to the left, try to get the inside track on mid. Top turret did not go down, so Envy still have to get that one, even though the Weaver's Wall was used to try and block them from, you know, Afromu and Stixay from getting into lane.
Couldn't block enough there. And I will say Apollo's been hanging out mostly on his own.
Yeah. Drake might be Counterlogic Gaming. It's a Mountain Drake. It's one that you desperately want if you're Envy.
Yeah, Seraph can't really get involved and try and take it.
Ninja looking for a roam here. He's going to get spotted right now on a ward. And they don't have the ultimate yet from Malzahar.
Oh, that's not a good spot to be standing. He's going to
up.
try and juke around. The Chain of Corruption's going to miss, but that's a Q. That's going to be a kill for Hakuo. And now the turret's going to fall down as well.
Aquo, another kill. Finishes off the turret as well. And that's Envy with a gold advantage off of that. No turret's going to be actually returned just yet. That middle turret's still standing strong for Envy. All three of their outers are actually still pretty healthy.
Yep, Drake over to CLG though, so that's their trade. But it looks like the push is continuing here for Envy in top lane, although now going to back off. Envy don't want to extend too far forward. Lots of gold to spend down there as well.
Man. I'm just looking at Lyra's gold every single time. It's like, how is he 1,400 up? It's like, it's insane. He doesn't have more kills, more assists. He's got the exact same score line. It's just that CS, and he's taken that away from Xmithie, but he doesn't even have like a gigantic level advantage. So, it's strange.
It is, but I mean, just speaks to...
They're actually equal in experience. Actually, Xmithie is slightly ahead in experience.
Again, speaks to his talent as a jungler. We talk about Envy again, they've got plenty of strong players, but putting it all together, they kind of got a little bit of macro and a little bit of team fight and some really good skirmishing, but like, it doesn't all come together. And for me, Envy just don't have X Factor. That's the one thing that's kind of hurting them. Looks like we're going to be okay though on the play. Envy actually go after the blue buff, but...
Yeah, went over to Huhi.
Yep.
We eventually found it. Went over to Huhi. And yeah, a part of like Lyra's lead is also that first turret because they get first turret so often. But
that's true. Oh, Lyra now caught out, but Seraph going to try and lock it down. Hakuo getting interrupted by a bubble. But Ebb and Flow's going to bounce around, not do too much extra damage. TP here, looking for Sticks. He's actually put way far forward the wall. He's going to now fall down. And Ninja going to get a solo. Seraph not needed.
He's got TP in anyway, though. They saved the turret with that roam. And a great Weaver's Wall actually knocked Stixay back. And then he was forced to actually 90 caliber net over the wall. No way to escape.
Let's see again, Envy's gold leads have been pretty stellar. First throughout the spring.
The first
at 20, and this game is about double the general average in spring.
They're first. If League of Legends was a 20-minute game, they're the best team in the league. But they're actually 10th in our league, which is just actually mind-blowing that they get these advantages, but they constantly drop the ball. It's got to be a frustrating thing as the players and as the coach because you're like, there's just these, they're making these brilliant proactive plays early. They're getting the turrets. They understand the concept of playing off your lanes, playing to your lanes, getting advantages, but then they just can't convert.
A disgusting CC chain. Lyra enters the bouncy castle and does not leave until he dies.
Yeah. Knocked up, put in a bubble.
This sounds like a really awful horror movie. The bouncy castle of doom. Just die. Tower though for Envy, so things looking good on that front. Lyra, I mean, not having a stellar game, but the rest of his team is picking up the slack.
Yeah, he's kind of just counter jungling every buff, trying to contest stuff.
Tracking the jungler, it's all strategic.
Yeah, Smithy's here, you guys can push bottom. I mean, it is actually literally what they're just doing off of that. But top lane, Seraph has to back off because of Smithy.
Smithy just flew in there.
Yeah. Woo! But they also have a blue buff spawning soon. I don't think Counterlogic Gaming will stick around.
A little too dangerous perhaps, so just going to back off. Ninja going to do the same. As that Abyssal Scepter now finished, but maybe has more to purchase.
All right, so this is the hardest part of the game for Envy. They have the 3 outers down. It's past 20 minutes. The tier 2 turrets and the inhibitor turrets are just the bane of Envy's existence. It's why like Ziggs has to be banned against them because it makes it easy for them to take. But their composition, little bit 1-3-1 oriented if you can get Ninja into a side lane, but Seraph, as this Shen, doesn't really beat the Gangplank. He went for a full armor build, has the Titanic Hydra for shoving. Dragon's not up for a bit. Baron's on the table. So Envy, they kind of have to control this dark jungle. Like, this is the big part. They have to get in that jungle and get vision down. But do they have the power to actually force themselves in? Because I feel like that's where they drop the ball. They try to force it too hard. They get caught like Lyra just did a moment ago. And then you have to reset. Objectives go over, etc.
Well, I will tell you, we have seen, again, Envy recently this weekend. The other page in the playbook is 50-50 Baron. I mean, again, objectively, not a good play. But for Envy, at least get things started. So we'll see maybe in a couple of minutes' time if that happens. Seraph and Darshan going at it, and Seraph's winning pretty cleanly. Xfinity, though, going to make it an unfair fight. Bit of the ultimate ready to go, and there's a great little combo. Seraph still trying to run away, gets the taunt onto Xfinity. Darshan going to try and take him down with the ultimate. How rude. Seraph going to walk away, though. Use his flash, but he might just be
hide in the minion wave. Hide in the minion wave.
Fighting around. Here's Ninja. Going to try and buy a little bit more time. Xfinity looking to go down here as Ninja should be able to get it. Lyra down as well, just to be sure. It's a trade. Seraph bought so much time there.
Yeah, he did. Ended up having to use his flash, but still, Ninja arrives. They don't get any turrets for it. They get kind of no control of the jungle either. Ocean Drake in about 40 seconds here. So that'll be the next setup, just because teams want to go for the neutral objectives. This will force them to get this side of the map. I think Hakuho also doesn't have any wards left in his sight stone, so he should be backing soon to refill that while he has time.
We'll see. Envy are pretty gung-ho when it comes to objectives, so...
Yeah, he doesn't have time to back now because of the fact that the objective, like you said, coming up in 10 seconds.
Ocean Drake up. See what happens. Apollo with the Hurricane now actually rapidly clearing out waves. Even has a bonus recurve bow. I believe he went Wraith Blade in the last game, so you could see that again.
Yeah, builds out a recurve bow as well as pickaxe blasting wand.
That's such a strange combination of items.
So Runat's Hurricane is 2,600 gold. Rage Blade is 3,600. It is really expensive.
Well, the face check-in, but not taking too much poke. Voidling's actually doing a decent amount of damage. CLG, though, setting up to defend this Drake.
Yeah, so Darshan is here adding up and like helping them defend. Seraph's just going to push top lane, get a CS advantage, get an experience advantage for himself. Logic Gaming have to kind of do this Drake now or find a fight soon, or Seraph will get that top turret.
Yeah, this is kind of the Gangplank with teleport problem. Doesn't really do too much when he comes in, so he's going to join his team, and now Seraph's going to move in. Ninja tries to get the wall down, but he eats a trap on the way in. There's the ultimate out from GP as CLG claim the Drake. Envy just trying to force a little too hard, I think. Seraph getting slowed by a barrel combo out of Darshan, and Xmithy lining up for a very impactful ultimate, perhaps. Gets knocked back though by Ninja. Chain of Corruption's going to land in there as well. CLG scattered. And Seraph and Lyra off to the left are going to try and run away. CLG have so many threatening team fight abilities.
And Xmithy also has Body Slam Flash. He's looking for that. So Apollo's throwing Chain of Corruption, trying to stop him. They're trying to do everything they can, keep him away. That was just silly, though. Ninja, really kind of awkward Weaver's Wall there, but also right into a trap.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it does not take much to knock Talia off the wall.
Also,
it's a little flimsy.
Seraph decided to use the teleport instead of the Stand United. Stand United is faster. Stand United gives a shield. Stand United has a lower cooldown. So
I feel like maybe there was a world where they're trying to do the Talia Shen.
I mean, like
submarine in.
Yeah, he's not even canceling it either. Like that's one where you cancel and you maybe get that top. And so I can understand if he wanted to use, because you can't cancel your ultimate, right? You can cancel teleport though, but he doesn't go for that. And then they have to run away immediately, so.
I mean, again, Envy, not the strongest team when it comes to a lot of these pinpoint decision making, because it is difficult, especially in the heat of the moment, to always make the right decision. But, I mean, they kind of have a plan. The plan is to fight early and often, and they're still in a position where they can force pretty well onto CLG, but 2,000 gold is not really a lead, especially because Stixay is only growing in strength.
Yeah, and that's actually a great way to look at it. When we talk about leads, a lot of it is percentage of enemy team's gold in terms of a lead. So when you're looking at a lead that's only 2,000 gold, when you're later and later into the game, you're only like, what is this? This is like 0.5% or something like that.
You were looking at the wrong person if you want me to do math.
My bad. It's something
You looked
like,
at me and like, if I could help you, I'm like, you have no idea.
Well, actually, it's a little bit higher than that because of the fact that it's maybe 5. Hold on.
This is why I don't do math on air. It looks like a surf in from Talia. Xmithy getting locked down by the ultimate from Elzar. Looks to be dead as Apollo gets a kill. Ninja can't quite find anyone else, but if he can get a shot back, oh, that's some juicy looking carries for Ninja to try and get. Envy might just chase this one all the way around.
Yeah.
CLG back in front of the Baron though.
They're going to back because that's the fastest place for them to do so. Darshan styling with some barrels. Not sure. But they want to deal some damage to this mid turret. Lyra will now run off, get control of the bottom side jungle, and also clear it out. Maybe look at that bottom lane to push. This is Apollo backing, though.
Yeah, looks like he's got some gold to spend, I think. So NV not quite in position to capitalize fully on the pick they got next Smithy. Rageblade, though, now done for Varus, so a lot of extra damage coming out now with all the on-hit effects. And then Leandri's helping Ninja with 3 items, actually poking pretty heavily, especially onto the squishier members of CLG. Aframu has only so much healing he can offer between his heals and the redemption, so Chixay definitely doesn't want to get himself caught out of position with it, Talia and Shen riding in. You can kind of see what MB want to do in a lot of these teamfight situations.
Yeah. Want to have it kind of start with CLG thinking they have superior numbers, whether it's 3-on-2, and they have the rest of them come in. Quick skirmishes, quick collapses. I can hear them yelling from here.
I mean, CLG know that this is not a game they want to lose. Who either? Shockwave gets blocked by Ninja X Smithy, trying to turn it back around, but Ninja just has to get a trade if he can. The shove not there, the shutdown for Oriana.
Yeah, no ultimate there for Seraph to be able to use it and protect him, but a great rotation and a great pickup there. Smithy on point with punishing this. And right now, this is another punish. The mid lane's getting pushed in. Seraph is trying to trade some pressure on the bottom. I'll tell you, this is going to be a much faster push from these 3 members here.
Yeah, just can't see enough, but this collapse might actually work out for Envy if they can get to the carries ASAP. Turret is looking to fall down, good auto onto the barrel, and now they're going to maybe try and take down Styx. They know it's too risky.
Yeah, here comes Shen from the back. Seraph looking for a flank.
This is Envy's spot if they really want to get and try and make a fight happen, but the collapse has the right idea, but they just don't pull the trigger in time. And now CLG are back into siege mode with everyone ready. Is Lyra not going to get comboed back in there. In fact, Apollo's going to try and turn it back around, but the Gangplank ultimate, significant damage. Seraph needs to block the ace in the hole. I believe Stixay cancelled it. And now CLG is going to look for this turret.
Yeah, Stixay now has the ultimate back up again. Seraph
caught by a barrel.
on a trap.
Going to get knocked back up by the Aqua Prison, excuse me, as Seraph still taking damage. Nice and tanky though, so able to weather that storm, but CLG might have done enough damage to go to Baron.
Yeah, it's enough of a combination there. Seraph, though, he does have the teleport coming up just now, as well as the Stand United. So there's the teleport. Seraph is actually on the complete opposite side. That's a very far teleport.
Too far forward. Xmoothie going to try and shut him down. He gets the slow. Ultimate's down, and now Seraph's going to join the fight. Stand United is not going to complete. No, he does get in there, and now Ninja looks under the backline. 60 eats so much damage from the Talia. Apollo firing as well, but Redemption's going to try and reset it. Talia diving back in. Ninja really wants to kill these carries.
Flash.
Xmoothie up to the wrong side. 60 gets out with the QSS. Envy have kind of corralled CLG into the right spot, but there's Darshan going to take down Ninja. Now I think the carries are safe. CLG get through a really tough fight.
Yeah, Lyra's out of mana. Apollo almost out of mana himself. They're on the run here. Counter Logic Gaming have an Ocean Drake, so they keep getting a little bit back as they chase.
CLG now looking to chase down Seraph. Going to be the next target. Taunts out from under the slow. Going to get revealed though. Actually finds both with the Scry's Bloom. Smithy also cutting them off. Blast cones away, doesn't quite get to Lyra, but Seraph, I don't think he's going to be so lucky now. Apollo's going to be Xmithy's next target. Seraph's going to stand and fight and try and save his teammate. Channing Cross. Apollo looking to take one down, but the crit from Darshan is massive. 2 extra kills for CLG.
Yep, Infinity Edge comes up big there. Big crit. Can't move, can't get another shot off, can't get a spell off. So Apollo can't get those Blighted Quivers stacks to actually pop. Big fight for CLG. Now they're actually in the lead.
Second Ocean Drake as well. Going to join that Mountain Drake they had already, so CLG's Drake count looking good, and the scaling is just starting to really come up for CLG.
Yeah, that teleport from Seraph on the top side, really bad. And then Hakuo, he's desperate here to try and turn because they don't really have anything to check that bush with, that they think it's okay. Seraph completes, but then they can't land the abilities. The Redemption resets a part of this fight. Morellonomicon does cut into that healing. And then right here, Seraph taunt flashes, only gets Stixay, who then immediately gets out of it with the use of his QSS.
And Stixay now with 3 items completed, and that QSS is a very fearsome looking Caitlyn. Envy had the right idea on that fight. Ninja almost turned that team fight completely around.
But then Aframu with the bubble definitely did a huge job there in saving that team fight near the back half.
Ninja's going to need to have that death cap finished up. That's his next item by the looks of things. And CLG do not really have a super good tank. They certainly don't have 2. Darshan is going full damage with his Gangplank build. It's just Smithy that can really soak this up, and then some shields from the Orianna and the heals from the Nami. If Ninja can find the squishies, like Yuzo, he almost killed Stixay and Hui by himself. Oh. Tidal Wave going to find Ninja, actually knocks him off, but there's Smithy going to ride back in. Sanjanetta going to try and save the Talia, but that's not quite enough. Hui now unstoppable, and Seraph, he's into the fight, but Envy are already out.
That wave straight down the corridor and the Gangplank ultimate, they're combining two soft engages to really make it a hard engage and a pick tool. And Counterlogic Gaming just keep going back to this bush. They have control, and then they can keep shooting people with barrels as they approach. That's kind of the catch-22 of this bush, is when you're in it as Counterlogic Gaming, the enemy, if they check it, then they might get hit by a barrel, but they have to check it.
Nice blue trigger there. CLG instantly start the Baron. So Envy have to go back in and check, but this Baron's going to fall real quickly.
Lyra on the backside, Smithy
maybe caught out. Actually, Envy going to try and start a fight here, but Seraph now caught on the other side of it. It's 4v5 still. Ninja dead for 15 seconds, and Seraph just eating a little too much damage. Looks to go down as he taunts through the front line of CLG. Darshan still taking spears though, and that should be okay. CLG rinse and repeat straight back to Baron. Brockway finds Hakuo as well. CLG might even get more out of this. The exhaust is down, but it's not enough to save him from Darshan.
And that's Counterlogic Gaming. The bush, back and forth, back and forth. Envy's vision control. Jat was talking about it yesterday. It's quite poor in the late game. Sure, they have those gigantic advantages, but this is where they drop the ball as well.
Wolf Hui now cut off. Actually, the Baron is low, and that should go over to CLG. Hui flashes out of the way. Now Ninja's just going to kite back. He burns a flash, but he still gets waved in. Smithy should be able to lock him down for long enough. Shoved back in, but hits the teleport in from CLG. Ninja still trying to cut it up, but he's absolutely dead as Hui takes him down. And now Darshan going to chase down Lyra with the help of Aphromu. Ulti from Gangplank's going to slow it down. Barrels out there. Darshan going to try and hit it, but he doesn't quite get Lyra as he pounces away. Darshan still chasing as a barrel to speed himself up. He's just going to buy what time he can, because CLG are straight down mid.
Yep, they're going to be able to get this tier 2. Top tier 2 as well. Just hit him. Don't even need barrels.
Yep, just takes him down. Enough damage there to get the kill. Gangplank is doing so much work for CLG as far as raw DPS goes, and 6A is tanking Hakuo. Not really mattering too much. They're going to try and break it in 2 different points. Hakuo siege back in, and 6A just blows him up. Turret in mid falls down. Turret in top's going to fall. CLG may collect everything here.
This has just been a fiasco in the last 4 minutes. Envy went through the batting order. They came back. They just run themselves into Counterlogic Gaming in that bush over and over again. CLG are going to try to end the game, try to even up the score 1-1.
20 seconds left still on Lyra and Hakuo, so CLG have time to do this. Apollo trying to fire where he can, but Xmithy is just so disruptive. Seraph gets a nice double taunt, but now the Nexus is exposed. They need to just shoot as much as they can, but Stixay is far too strong. Flash forward's going to find Ninja. That should be a kill for CLG. And now the Nexus still exposed. Apollo tries to dive back in and turn around.
Apollo?
He does actually get the kill at the game. Apollo goes crazy, gets a triple kill, but it's not enough to save the game. Maybe Lyra is, though. The Baron empowered minions gonna run back in, but a flash off for Hakuo gets disrupted by Smithy. Lyra needs to get these kills down, but the minions are gonna do it.
They just have to stand here. They have to stand here and Baron buff the minions. Envy can't do a thing about this.
That's gonna be the game. The Nexus just hates gonna go down. They can't defend it for long enough. Lyra gets to go and do Smithy, but the minions are gonna do it for CLG, and they'll force a final game.
Ridiculous from Counterlogic Gaming. Envy had an early game lead again, and then it was the Baron bait multiple times into team fights that they just played way better.
It's rough for Envy. They had another lead, and granted, it wasn't a massive lead this time around, but certainly if they were a better mid to late game team, could have closed that game out quite cleanly and continued to snowball it out. But there's a reason Envy is sitting in 10th with clearly identifiable problems, and it's rough. I even saw Apollo at the end maybe getting the game-winning penta to save the game-saving penta towards the end, but it was not to be.
Yeah, very close, but this game, Envy had the lead. They had a good lead for themselves, but then they didn't do much with it. They had that 2,000 gold lead, and up against a team that's going to outscale you a little bit with the Orianna and the Gangplank, and even I would say the Caitlyn in terms of range and how effective she is in these team fights. This is just very difficult. You have to keep your foot on the pedal. You have to keep it moving forward. And this is a game that's pretty similar in game time, 36 minutes, but we only saw a lot of those kills come in towards the last 5.
Yeah, that game felt like it ended so quickly. We're actually going to watch CLG's turning point into this game and just see how they really broke open towards the mid game. Because at this point, the game is not that far, but
yeah, this is the 30-minute and 30-second fight, and the game ends 5.5 minutes after this, where Shen TPs to the top, then has to stand united there, so both his globals are down. Then the continuing of the fight Ninja and Apollo almost do work here on the right side of it. The Weaver's wall comes through, and then the part where he tries to re-engage here only gets Stixay with the flash, with the top flash, and then that bubble onto Ninja when everybody's getting in that little corner there was huge.
And again, seeing how well CLG are able to play team fights. This is the team that's been together the longest now, I believe, of any NALCS roster. But the fight does continue.
Yeah, absolutely right. It's the longest NALCS roster in history. And you can see here, this is where CLG going to pick up Apollo. And then this is like, we don't usually talk about this in like League of Legends, but staggered death timers, because they stagger Apollo and Seraph from the rest of the team. Now they're coming back up in 15 seconds with Ninja, and then it just continues from there.
You can kind of see why the game ended maybe 5-6 minutes after that play, because CLG just ran around, took everything, and then broke the game open. The cliff that dropped down there for Envy was CLG's gain. Huge snowballing gold advantage towards the end of it, and CLG just playing the fights better. Envy were not far enough ahead to really close it, and that's the thing for me. Envy, they're good at getting leads, and they get solid leads. But I feel like unless they're like 5,000 to 10,000 gold ahead at that midpoint mark around 20-25 minutes, they just don't feel confident enough or far ahead enough to actually go and close a game.
Yeah, their team fights are really kind of all over the place. And Lyra talked about it, I believe, yesterday, where he was saying, we just don't really know what's going on. The team fights will happen, and then it's just like a little bit of luck. Somebody will hit a lucky skill shot. Somebody will get hit by something. It's like, it really isn't just down to luck. People are setting up appropriately. Like, that's not luck there, where that bush is one that CLG Gaming have control of. They set that up. That's not luck that you're landing that bubble as Ninja's going forward, because you're cutting off that option that you know that he wants to actually hit the back line at that moment because the Weaver's wall. So I definitely feel like there's a lot here that Envy can look at and see a lot of their weaknesses in this game, because CLG Gaming, the systematic bait 3 times. It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Fool me 3 times, I'm Envy. It's like, come on. 3 times.
Well, the teams are all tied up, but only one can claim the win. Meet us back here for Game 3 of CLG Gaming versus Team Envy.
Bounce. Go. Get in there. Get mouse. Shut up. Heal mouse, get mouse. You guys got it. Yeah. I'm waving down here, guys. Yep. Watch me. I bubble Talia. Okay, nothing. That's mine. That's mine. Talia, here's no push. Talia, no push. Alright, take it slow. There's no push. I have 2 seconds, Trevor. 1 second. I do. Tossing bubble on Talia. I got him. Alright, nice.